I was also afraid that if I didn't say something right or say it in a way that, oh, he'd be walking out the door. Yeah. But anyway.
It's all good now.
The farm is very cleaned up because I've been putting a tremendous amount of time, effort, and my own money into cleaning the place up. And I was sitting outside just drinking some coffee and enjoying the beautiful, I'm trying to soak in the good, nice days. And Amy came to pick up a little exercise bike. She came in all hot and literally attacked me. Amy seems pretty upset about it because I put the farm up, and if Amy's upset about something, she lets me know about it.
You don't admit to anything.
I do.
You don't.
Oh.
Part of this, I would say the majority of this hornet's net lays on your shoulders.
Amy and I, we crash, we clash, we bump, whether she's coming at me at the wrong time or I'm coming at her about something at the wrong time. But I think overall our relationship is mature and healthy.
She had to let go of the farm, and I don't think she wanted the kids to have to let go of it too, and that's
Right.
where she's coming from.
Right.
But Roloff Farm is still going on. It's just going on this side.
My original intention and dream of keeping the farm in the family didn't die with selling one little slice. But I can understand why the family is attached to the north side of the farm. There's a lot of memories there.
Well, the 93 acres will eventually go to either your kids or your grandkids. You got them popping out of the woodwork, right? We got an Zach and Tori are due any day.
Do you think a boy or girl?
I've always thought girl, but I'm usually wrong. So what do you think?
I think boy, because I don't know why. Because everybody's going girl, so that's why I'm...
Well, we've had so many boys. It's no fun having this feud, I guess, between us and Zach and Tori and not getting to see the kids. So I'm just trying to be respectful, and I'm here. I'm hoping that it'll just, one day, we'll start to talk again, something will come up. I know Matt's working on his relationship with them, and as that foundation gets rebuilt, I think it'll be easier for us. This whole thing has been very painful. It's still painful. I miss the kids every day. I don't have the tools to fix it. It's been so long since we've connected. I'm not sure how to...
Yeah, well, they're busy up there and getting themselves established. We'll go up there together. I mean, you went for Lila's birthday. That was fun. I think the kids are all, working hard to emotionally kind of separate themselves from the farm. That's fair. And I think the relationship with Zach had a setback with me putting the farm on the market and him not feeling like it was done properly. But I still think that things are moving in the right direction. I'm happy with the progress that it's made over the last couple months.
Probably at some point, you and Zach need to have another conversation where there's something to the effect of that you're sorry it didn't work out.
Oh, okay, yeah.
You know, I think maybe he needs to hear that. I don't know.
Yeah, I
Even
feel
though
a
you
little bit
thought
like
he was wrong, he thought you were wrong.
Poking the bear, I mean, why, when it seems like he's gotten over it?
Well, just because he's not constantly talking about it doesn't mean he's gotten over it.
Zach can be mad at me for not selling the farm to him, and Jeremy could be mad at me for not selling the farm to him, but I just wanted them to work together, and that wasn't possible. And I understand my part, my role, where I went wrong. So I'm always open and hoping and wishing that things get back together and to some sense of normalcy.
Sometimes you just need to hear the words like, hey, I'm sorry that didn't work out, son.
Yeah.
That's just my suggestion. Yeah. You guys, you know him, and it certainly can't hurt. Oh, yeah, this isn't getting much use these days.
Well, that has to be sad right there.
I know, it's probably weird for you guys coming to town and there's no
little kids.
No kids.
No little Jackson. Well, I bet he misses being here because he always loved to come and play on the farm.
You and Bob went up to see them, so you've seen their new place.
We saw their new place. They didn't have chickens at that time, but I think maybe they've gotten chickens by now.
So I've heard. Bob and Jody have known Zach and Tori for a long time, so they were aware, that things were not super cohesive. I think they had hoped to see them, but it just, every family has stuff, so the stars weren't aligned. It's hard, I think blending families, and Matt and I aren't married, but I still went all in because I plan to spend my life with Matt, and so I love those kids seriously, like they were blood, and I don't really have any tools to fix this, and I have to let it run its course. It's his family.
It is his family. He's gonna have to figure out how to fix this.
Honestly, I remain really sad about the whole situation. I wish it had never happened. If we could go back in time, I know Matt and I would do things differently. I wish I knew how to move forward. I'm ready, and if I were to see an opportunity to fix it, I would be all over it. But the opportunity hasn't really come around that feels natural. When it all went down and the big meeting went bad, and I'm sure there were things that Matt said or I jumped in, I wish that after it was over, we could have sat and talked about it like adults, because we didn't ever have a chance to say, wow, we didn't mean it that way. This is actually where we were coming from. We haven't had that opportunity because they just left. And so I don't know what to do. This whole thing has been painful. If my kids weren't talking to me, I'd probably go show up on their doorstep and just be like, let's work this out. Like time is getting away from us. I don't like this. And I would love to do that in this situation. It's just not my place. Each family has their own dynamic, and so I can't instill my process onto this family. They have their way, and so I need to let Matt kind of work through this. So that's Matt's future home site, a big pile of dirt.
Oh,
So it's hard to vision, but somewhere out here is the backyard.
somewhere out here.
So maybe in a year from now, when you guys come, we'll be able to actually sit out here instead of the back of the DW.
How do you feel about maybe living here now?
I'm excited. I don't think I care where we live, but it was time to move toward our future. The plan is for Matt and I to move in together once the house build is complete. We've been together for many years, and we love being in Arizona together. That's kind of where we live together on vacation, and so this will really feel solid, like kind of turning that final page on being together all the time. So it's exciting and slightly terrifying. I would be really sad if he builds this and then the kids don't feel like he's worthy of coming, or, the idea is to have a space where we can look out and see all my grandchildren, his kids. Right now, everything is so turmoil, and it's just so unfortunate. I don't know how it fell apart so bad.
Yeah.
So that you can walk back there and get to this road.
See, that's why
from
we're talking
behind it.
about this and having a visual.
Thought it was clear.
No, see, you know what? Don't assume that. It wasn't clear to me. We're looking at this differently, and our words comprehension
I know.
different.
We're just apples and oranges sometimes.
Well, just be patient. So what if I didn't get it?
In my mind, I feel like I'm explaining it very well, very logically. It makes sense, no argument needed. And then sometimes I get a little frustrated because Amy's not catching on. She's not seeing the vision. Okay, hon, I think we have a plan.
Thank goodness. See, we can still work together, babe.
Just have to hammer it out. Yeah.
But see, you can't think like that.
What?
Hammering it out.
That's a business term. It's an
Oh,
expression.
Well, just like the motorcycle
don't
ride.
get so offended.
I am sensitive to that. You're right. I recognize that. I think it has a lot to do with trying to be so careful about my image and how people look at me throughout my whole life. Because all it takes is one little thing, and then poof, you're dismissed. There are moments where maybe Chris may say something, and it's innocent on his part, but to me, it's like, what are you doing? Like, what? I do have a tendency to be a little more sensitive because I still have that old adage from growing up, trying to fit in, trying to meet other people's expectations. Those elements I definitely know came into my marriage with Matt. There was a lot where I didn't feel as supported or encouraged. And when you have that a little bit over time, it can deflate you. So you're right, I sometimes am a little sensitive. So what you may think is all okay, I look at it as critical. But is it really critical?
Yeah, it's not.
Matt and I had disagreements and stuff. It's probably more that I didn't understand. And so we would just walk away, but I never felt like things were ever settled. But I think with Chris being older and the second time around, it's more, I want to understand you and he wants to understand me, so we take the time to do that.
I've got to think that most people, as they get older, are more open, more sharing, more relaxed.
They are.
Yeah.
But that doesn't equate that, you being asked to each other during the major part of, being together.
Yeah, but part of that, to me, is that it's our responsibility to try to accept a person who they are today and not who they were, because we're all changing and growing.
I realize in order to move forward, you can't be stuck at the wall. You got to figure out how to get over it or change it or something.
Well, glad to help you over that wall. Give you a little push.
Whoops, there she goes.
I think early on that I had to push Amy sometimes to talk about stuff.
I think part of me struggled internally. I was also afraid that if I didn't say something right or say it in a way that, he'd be walking out the door. Yeah. But anyway.
It's all good now.
Yeah, it is. It really is. But I think it's the old adage of, there are moments where, it goes back to my childhood that I'm just glad he thinks I'm good enough.
More than good enough.
So anyway, I don't know why I cried, but anyway. And I think the older you get, thank God you're a little wiser. Unfortunately, too bad we don't have this wisdom when we're younger.
Hard knocks.
Karen and I were down in Arizona because my dad was getting more and more ill. And after putting up a very big fight for several weeks, he finally succumbed to his lung issues. And he passed away peacefully. I'm just glad we got down there when we did. I thought he was going to walk out of it. And then there was a point when it, like, there's a chance he might not. And then it would, the next day it would be like, it was, going good.
Yeah, the roller coaster of it. Very nice that all of your kids flew there to say their goodbyes.
That meant a lot to me, and I'm sure it meant a lot to him. Towards the end, when we knew things looked more dire, I notified everybody, all the kids, and they all came in. They all dropped everything. When it mattered most, we can all not get along for this, that, or the other thing, but when the crap hit the fan, within hours they were by my dad's side. All of them were able to be there. And then, Jeremy, Zachary, Molly, Jacob, and then, of course my mother was there, and it was, we were there by his side.
Oh, I'm sorry. I know this is hard for you.
I just figured that they were gonna, we were gonna get more time with them down there in Arizona. I mean, they just barely got settled in Arizona. My parents decided to seek warmer ground, so they moved down to Arizona, and they happened to land about 1.5 miles, 2 miles maybe from Karen's parents. Karen's parents helped them acclimate to the area and get to know people. I was looking forward to, you know, all the time we were going to be able to spend with them down there, and it just kind of, you know, you feel a little bit robbed.
Yeah, we took him to the movies, remember?
Yeah, we took them to the, yeah. That was good.
That was adorable,
yeah.
watching them holding hands.
Boy, he sure loved my mother.
Mm-hmm.
You know, she's strong, but, you know, she's definitely having to figure out what she can do and what she can't do. And my mother is doing good, but she also doesn't have him there as a safety net. He doted on my mom. And one of his last words to me was, you know, I really spoiled your mom, and so now I really need to look to me to help take care of her and make sure she, you know, lives a comfortable, happy life. So, and I told him I would have that under control.
I loved your dad. He was a great guy. He was very positive, and he was going to be missed for sure.
He lived life large, you know, no doubt about that. My dad was sort of a larger-than-life character, and my dad had a pretty good sense of humor, and, you know, he'd give me a hard time sometimes. My dad had no fear to say what was on his mind, and he'd tell it like it is.
You're building a house for whom?
For these grandbabies.
Are you guys going to get married? What's the deal here? How can you have a home without a wife?
He had a big person. I loved people. He never met a person that he didn't, you know, want to visit with and learn about.
Good to see you, Papa. Thanks for driving up.
Lila, good to see you. Hey. Lila Ray. Hey. Not too many guys to say I've snuggled with my great-grandfather. Okay, here we go. Whoa.
He led a really good life, and he made a big impact on a lot of people, so it was, but it's never easy. It's always kind of hard to say goodbye to somebody here on Earth, but I think, you know, we can rest assured that he's in a better place, so I'm comforted by that. I don't know if I told you this, but a couple of days before he passed, he made some private comments to me. He wanted everybody to love each other. One of the things my dad said in his final hours or days was, I just want everybody in the family to get along, you know, and I want the same thing. And it's not just me and them, it's everybody. So all you can do is make sure that you don't bring any additional negativity to the table.